Hello everyone! And in my main analysis video of episode 79 part 1, I already dropped you the very first hints of why the whole battle surrounding the cameraman's base might be staged by the Alliance, and why Titan TV Man's arrival could be expected by them a really long time ago. Which means that not only is the Alliance fully prepared for what's coming next after Astro start putting TV Man's unique abilities into use, but they also had one clear goal in mind to even let that happen. As you know, Titan TV Man was lost to ISOTOILET's side due to a really dumb mistake the Alliance let slide back in full episode 77, and now one of their most important Titans got infected by Astro Parasite. But thankfully, the Alliance already has not only the right person to cure Titan TV Man, but also some of their own ways to hurt Astro Faction real bad. So today in this video, I'll tell you not only how exactly the Alliance would bring Titan TV Man back to their side, and how its cameraman would avoid death in the second part of episode 79, but also explain to you what kind of massive trap the Alliance has already set for Astro toilets, and why Astro toilets are basically cooked at this point. Now get your tea and snacks ready, prepare to watch this video to the end, and let's go. And be sure to give this video a like, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done this already, and now, let's continue. And first of all, let me prove you right away why the Alliance was perfectly aware of ISOTOILET's appearance since a very long time based on the way some of its members reacted back inside the cameraman's base. So in the beginning of the first part of episode 79, we could notice how one of the cameraman guards was slowly turning his head while observing everything and everyone on the base. I believe that the cameramen already expected the Astro massive raid to happen by this point, and that's why they were monitoring everything in order to not get caught off guard. Second of all, let's bring up the signature scene featuring Large TV Man, aka Polycephaly once again, which I analyzed quite in detail in my actual analysis in order to prove that this whole event was staged by the Alliance as well. So at first, the Alliance made Polycephaly teleport to the battlefield, and back to the cameraman's base several times in a row, which should have definitely attracted some of the Astro toilet's attention and allowed them to track the position of this exact base Polycephaly was teleporting at. That was the entire plan. The Alliance prepared this exact base to eventually catch the attacking Astros off guard and conquer the Titan TV Man's infection, so surely they had to make it 100% obvious so that Astro toilets would locate this one base in the first place and not something else. And let's move even deeper into that scene. I also believe that the scream that Polycephaly did after the teleportation was some kind of signal that was supposed to give a hint to the rest of the agents on this base that the Astros are already coming, and they should already be prepared to repel their attacks and follow the secret plan that was already established for action. And this signal certainly worked as planned, given that right after one of Astro troops appeared in this base after Polycephaly teleported, it was immediately shot down by Sigma Cameraman and other defensive systems. And third of all, what also made me think that this whole scenario was staged and observed in secret from the very start was another detail I also pointed out in my analysis video. So right next to Polycephaly, we could also see the infamous chair, aka the alternative shape-shifting form of Windows XP Girl, who has been watching the Alliance for quite a while, and it's possible that she was aware of the upcoming raid as well. The only question that remains is, does she act together with other Alliance's bosses, or is she acting on her own here aside from the Alliance's plan? In any case, it's still obvious enough that she and the rest of her shape-shifting family act hostile to the Astro toilets raiding this planet as well, so no matter if she collaborates with the Alliance right now or not, I still believe both of these organizations pursue the very same, or at least highly similar plan. Which point is to trick the Astro toilets into thinking that they are on the winning side, and then catch them off guard, hurt them as much as possible, and get Titan TV Man back. Okay, but how exactly is the Alliance supposed to do so, you can ask me? Well, first of all, let's remember who the Alliance has as an ally right now, and it's G-Man, a character that used to be fighting on the Astro's side as well a long time ago, and even was their commander, which means that he, just like Titan TV Man, was infected by an Astro Parasite, aka the Core Screwer, and he was controlled by the other elite Astro toilets that made him to attack his own planet and former comrades and turn everything to dust. But eventually, G-Man managed to break free from Astro Toilet's control, steal their own technologies and blueprints, and flee on Earth, where he started preparing his own kind of genetically modified species, which were the Skibidi Toilets, created with the help of technologies and knowledge that he's got. And even though his desire to bring the revenge on Astro Toilets cost a lot to Earth itself, one thing is pretty positive here. At least know for sure that G-Man somehow got rid of the core screwer on his own, or maybe with the help of some of his friends. Like, do you guys remember his conversation with Astro Juggernaut, right? So it can also mean that Titan TV Man can be saved in the exact same way with the help of G-Man and probably someone else on his side in secret. So here's what I believe will happen in the second part of episode 79. So the moment Titan TV Man begins to use his red TV glow and show signs of even deeper Astro's corruption, either two things will happen in my opinion. The first option is that all the cameramen outside will showcase their new upgrades, protecting them from this type of damage. Because otherwise, Plunger Camerawoman and the rest of her crew wouldn't continue to march towards Titan TV Man despite the POV Gray Speakerman's warnings. Maybe they all will put on the protective lenses onto their cameras. Or maybe some other device will help protecting them from the glow's harm. Or there is a second option too. Once Titan TV Man starts his attack, the Alliance will deliberately pull back their frontline forces, even after they'll put their protective items on. Not out of fear or weakness, but in order to lure the infected Titan further into their trap zone they established for him and other elite Astro soldiers too. Now, what's crucial here is that the Alliance probably never really planned to fight him head-on in his current corrupted state. Why? Well, because there's no point in hurting your own ally, especially when you consider to cure him and then put him back onto your side later, right? So instead, they could have prepared a highly classified, secure underground facility right below the battlefield. And even though the external appearance of the cameraman's base might lay in total shambles, it still wouldn't affect the underground facility I just mentioned at all. And something tells me that this facility could be built long before Titan TV Man was even infected. So, do you guys remember how we learned that TV Man, Scientist, and G-Man turned out to know each other and already worked together at the point of episode 74 events, which was something that pissed Titan TV Man bad, by the way? So here's what I think. The Alliance already knew that G-Man mastered the ability to disable Astro Parasite's functions on his own in his past. So they started building a special facility for this exact purpose later, when some important members of the Alliance could succumb to the very same unfortunate thing. So I'm saying that the recovering facility probably already existed long before Titan TV Man's infection, and it was most likely built with the help of G-Man, TV Man Scientist, and other scientists as well. And there are most likely tons of not only stolen Astro technologies, but also leftover components from the original healing capsules used on corrupted Skibidi toilets in the earlier episodes. And now this facility will come into use big time, as Titan TV Man requires some help from his comrades. Okay, and who else might be present inside of this facility waiting for its new patient to work on? The most obvious answer for me would be Skibidi Kleiner, and here's why. So do you guys remember how he suddenly showed up on the battlefield in the first part of the episode, which surprised me a lot? And even though he was operating the Skibidi Scientist's puppet with some portions of modifications and all that, it was still more than obvious to me that he still had pretty much zero chances against Titan TV Man as well. So I was actually confused to see what it was that Kleiner was supposed to be doing there honestly, especially given that he is a scientist, and one of the most important ones for the Alliance as well, given that he closely worked under the late Skibidi Scientist projects. But now I understand exactly what was his purpose in quickly glimpsing at Titan TV Man directly on the battlefield. So it is obvious that Skibidi Kleiner was supposed to be one of the scientists from the team that would later focus on recovering the infected Titan TV Man, so he had to see with his own eyes what was changed or modified in his future patient by the Astros, and that's why he showed up. It's most likely that he wanted to test the real limits of Titan TV Man's powers, and based on the Kleiner's reactions, his power turned out to be almost limitless, and that's why he said, fascinating. after the Titan broke his puppet in half with the new giant Astro sword. So right after this quick test, Skibidi Kleiner fled immediately, which just proved everything I just said. The point of his appearance was not in fighting TV Titan, but just in checking his changes and new abilities. But aside from Skibidi Kleiner, I believe that plenty of other scientists will be seen working in this secret underground facility. Probably Mecha cameraman scientists too. And who knows, probably some Astro toilets as well. I mean, what if Astro Juggernaut already gave up to G-Man's proposal back in Season 25, and he already works in collaboration with his old friend, but Astro toilets just don't know about this yet? But Juggernaut is not the only Astro toilet who might switch sides, you know, so there may be much more interesting surprises from that part. And besides, let's also not forget what Boom said in his most recent interview. So basically, Boom confirmed that G-Man's secret weapon already exists, and it's both the weapon and a person at the same vessel. So it's either one of the Astro Toilets traders I just mentioned above, or obviously it's Titan TV Man we are talking about here, because right after he'll get transported to this new secret underground ability I'm talking about, he'll be freed of the Astro parasite. But at the same time, he'll save all of the previous Astro's upgrades and modifications they put on him. And all of these modifications will simply start working in the Alliance's favor once again. But there's even more to that too. Aside from the upgrades, Titan TV Man also has some connections to Astro faction at this point, and he might even see the exact location of Astro's main base or the insides of their most important centers. All of which makes Titan TV Man an incredibly important ally because he, just like Jimmy, saw the inner work of Astro Toilet's faction, and now he might share all of that knowledge with his comrades in the Alliance. And by the way, maybe that's what the shape-shifting woman wants to achieve exactly. Maybe she's being here on this base since the very start, because she wants to get some of Titan TV Man's gathered Astro knowledge as well for her own plans and purposes. Who knows? So in the end, I want to highlight some of the most important points I just had for you here. It is more than obvious to me now that the Alliance planned a large operation regarding Titan TV Man's captivity and recovery, and that's why the whole battle surrounding the cameraman's base was staged and even rehearsed from the start. It's also worth noting that the Alliance wouldn't risk capturing Titan TV Man if they didn't already have the right minds and tools to fix him. And if G-Man and other scientists work together, there's a very real chance they can initiate a certain purge protocol, which not only suppresses the Astro's parasite inside the Titan TV Man's core, but also transmits a dampening signal to other nearby Astro-controlled units, which makes the Titan's importance even more prominent for the Alliance to risk it all. And now, what does this mean for the Astro Toilets, though? Well, while they're busy celebrating their temporary capture of Titan TV Man right now, they won't even realize that he's actually been taken out of the battlefield intentionally. This gives the Alliance the perfect chance to launch a counterattack on the distracted Astro front lines, especially since we are expecting the appearance of such big boys as G-Man, the upgraded Titan Speaker Man, and even more. And let's not forget that the real trap here isn't even the infected Titan, but it's the data. Yes, you heard that right. By allowing Titan TV Man to get infected and bait the Astros into hacking or interacting with him remotely, the Alliance might have already injected some kind of virus or tracking script into the Astro systems, turning Titan TV Man into a literal mobile backdoor into their entire Hive network. And if that's true, then the second part of the episode might not just be a rescue mission or a battle, it could be the beginning of a full-scale cyber-espionage war, where the Alliance starts crashing Astro Toilet systems from the inside out, using their own parasitic methods against them. And oh boy, wouldn't that be just glorious to see. So to wrap this up, what we saw at the end of the first part wasn't really a defeat or a random miscalculation by the Alliance, but it's the beginning of their own endgame, y'all. G-Man's return, Titan TV Man's infection recovery, and even the appearance of other upgraded Titans and mini-Titans were all necessary pieces in a larger operation that we are only now starting to understand. The only question that remains is, will the Astro Toilets realize what's happening before it's too late? Okay. And this was all I had for you guys today. Write in the comments what you personally think about what I just told you. And be sure to also subscribe to my channel not to miss my new videos to keep yourselves updated while you are waiting for the second part of episode 79 to get released. And that was me, ISOTOILET. See ya!